The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Women's Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericawomen.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful week, that you're leaning in and listening to all that life has to offer. And I'm really excited and honored that you're joining us today because we're going to be talking about stepping into your power in both life and business. And I find it so easy in life to wait for permission or wait for someone to explain the next thing we're supposed to do, or perhaps we default into being that supportive role, almost like a side supporting character in our own life rather than really stepping into center stage. So today we want to really support you in really stepping into that center place, that leadership position in your life, that you're really moving and bringing all of you forward and moving in the direction that you and your life and your gifts and your talents are called to go. And I have discovered, so here's a secret, everyone. You can lean into this. I like secrets. So secret no more. I have learned that we have to each lead that charge for ourselves. And I spent a lot of years waiting for others to help me do that or show me how. And they might show me what was laid on their heart or the way they did it. But where I really started to get traction and really able to step into that place is when I decided I was the leader of my life. I was the star. I was supposed to be on center stage. And now knowing that, where do I want my life and my business to go? Where is it called to go? And I made the commitment that I was willing to become what I needed to become, learn what I needed to learn to be able to live in that way fully. And I hope that today is part of that journey for you. So I really invite all of you to take a deep centering breath. This is your time. You said yes to yourself, to being here fully, and I want to invite you to receive everything that is here for you today. And so I invite you to open your ears fully so they can hear. Open your heart to receive, your eyes to see. And sometimes we're just moving so quickly in life, we forget to open ourselves up, to really see, to really hear, to clean those receptors so we can not miss things as they're shared with us. And I really want you to gain everything that is here for you today. One more deep breath. And then in June, it's Father's Day month. And so one of the opportunities I'm going to give my amazing guest today and invite you to also lean into is taking a moment to acknowledge a male in our life. It could be a father, it could be a grandfather, it could be our husbands, it could be a brother, but someone that is male that has impacted your life in a positive way. And I just want you to take a moment today and kind of acknowledge that and receive them. It's last month we were doing this for women and for mothers, and I think it's important that we do it for men too. And so I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge a man in my life. And I'm choosing a different one for each of the shows in June. So this one is my grandpa Ives. And my grandfather got married quite young. He was in the military for a number of years, and he was a Renaissance man. He really built his life and the path that he was called to build. And one of the ways that he did that is not only in the time that he was in the military, when he stepped out and married my grandmother, they actually built their house. And he, at one point, owned a sawmill where you would buy land for the timber. And that gave him an opportunity to have land that he could build, and by his own hands built the house that they lived in until he passed away. And I remember at age 90, he was climbing on the roof and fixing it because he had built this house with his own hands and by golly, he could fix it. And so, and we kind of gave him a hard time about that. And my grandmother, she would call it thumping him. She would kind of thump him a little bit, tap him saying, hey, you need to listen, or you need to not do that. That's not what somebody your age should be doing, or whatever. And what I really appreciated him, and as I look back on his life and the influence he had on me, is he didn't let age, in a sense, define him or what other people did. He really took a leadership position in his life and with his family. And when I look at the legacy that he has left behind, I see a lot of those traits that have been passed along in the family, that people are not just following in order based on age or they're male or female or what society is saying that you do. Instead, and it's not in a rebellious way, but really instead asking, what am I going to build and create with my own hands? What am I called to bring forward? How am I going to play my life my way? And I love that he was such an example for that, in that way for me in my life. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And the house actually to this day is still standing, for those of you who were curious. It is still there. So really beautiful legacy. I'm very grateful for who he was as a man and the legacy that he has left behind for so many of us. And what I want to invite you to do today, as we're talking about stepping into your power in both your life and business, because we don't live in vacuums, one will affect the other. What's a way that you perhaps can maybe look at a legacy that someone has left you in your life, a lesson they have taught you, or perhaps there's something you're looking for today that can help you step forward just a little bit more strongly into that leadership position in your life. And I invite you to listen. So often we're flying through the day, going from one thing to another. We're not pausing and listening. So I always provide that opportunity when we start the show so that we can connect in a place of listening and hearing the beat of our own hearts and each other's hearts before we dive into the show and the content and the information. Because I find when we do that, we connect on a deeper level and we are really open to what it is that we are to share and to receive. So for those of you who are driving, please stay safe, keep both hands on the wheels, eyes open. Those of you who are able to, I invite you to sit back in your seat, really feel it supporting you. Take a deep breath and close your eyes as you exhale. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, really bringing all of you in. Another deep breath. And ask self, what is it that I need today? What is it that I need to hear and listen for and receive or share to bring myself stepping into that leadership position forward just a little bit more? What is it that I need? You may find it's an image, a word, a phrase, a thought, a feeling. Don't ever overanalyze, just receive. And then we're going to come back together in this new place of connection and open up your eyes. If you have a notepad there, I encourage you to write down the thought or the feeling or the information that was shared with you. So easy in the busyness to lose these moments of insight that we're given. Beautiful. And I have two amazing guests today that are going to be sharing with you, and I'm very excited about the perspective and wisdom they're going to be bringing. But before we get into that, because we will do that in the later part of the show, I wanted to invite all of us as women coming together to just share briefly what was laid upon our heart. So Bonnie, do you mind sharing something that was laid upon your heart?
I'd be happy to, Rebecca. Thank you.
Absolutely.
What I'm getting in my heart is to appreciate the legacy that came from my father, actually.
Mm.
He was gentle and he knew how to listen. Mm-hmm. He was compassionate. He gave me the gift of giving me permission to use my talents, my unique gifts, and to be who I really was in the world.
Beautiful.
It was a great gift.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful legacy that he has shared with you. Love it. Everyone breathe that in. And Nancy, how about you? Did you have something laid upon your heart?
Yes. It was really the impact my father has made in my life. I have an older brother and sister, and when they were little, he was doing the two jobs and going to school. So I got a lot of his time being several years younger than them. But we did stuff that you didn't typically think of as a girl's thing. We went out fishing, we went out and camped and did all of that stuff. He didn't put any limitations on the stuff we did together based on me being a girl. Mm. And then as I grew up, if I wanted to do something, he was like, okay, you have to tell me why I should let you do this. So he taught me really from an early age how to make an argument and make a case for what I wanted, and he didn't realize he was, training a lawyer, but he was.
I love that, those critical thinking skills. So valuable. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I love about some of the things both of you shared. Really, the ways of thinking, the ways of being and approaching life were some of the really valuable gifts that were brought to your heart and mind in that time. So thank you for sharing that. And it's funny, Nancy, as you were sharing about fishing, I had this flashback of doing that. I did that with my grandpa a lot. And we'd watch the frogs. There was a little pond on the property, and we would sometimes see bears as we were walking through the woods and picking huckleberries and then really fishing in the pond. And I really don't remember if we caught anything, or if we did, it wasn't a very common event. But really having that time with him, pausing and appreciating and listening and just enjoying nature together was really, really special. So thank you. You touched on that memory and brought it back for me. So thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Fishing moments.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could bring that back for you.
Yeah, thank you. It was very special. So listeners, I hope that our shares have touched your heart, given you some things to think about. We're getting ready to go to our first commercial break. So as we do that, I encourage you to sit in this space a little bit longer, see the wisdom that's being brought forward, and we will look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that break and had some great memories of men that have impacted you in a positive way, whether it was fishing or some other type of memory. I hope that you had an opportunity to kind of revisit that and really see what is placed on your heart that you are looking to lean into today. And behind the scenes, we were all chit-chatting a little bit, and it looks like all three of us have had experiences in fishing with our fathers. So that was really cool to learn. So all of us had some fishing memories. Mine was with my grandfather, but also my father as well. So that was really, really cool to learn. And I'm excited to introduce our first guest expert, the amazing Bonnie Best. And Bonnie is a wellness consultant, an inspirational coach, author 3 times over, and brings over 40 years of experience in the education and corporate systems and planning. And she brings this 40 years of experience to really serve people and helping them experience more joy, more love, more passion, and more success. It is my privilege and honor to officially welcome you to the show, Bonnie. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I'm really honored to be here. I've been looking forward to this very much.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to have you. And one of my favorite questions I love to start with is why? Why this work of helping people experience more joy, more love, more passion, and more success is personally so important to you?
Well, it relates somewhat back to my father. My father changed careers several times. And he had this philosophy that we could use our unique talents and we could do it in whatever way was helpful and successful. And I reached a time in life where I looked back and said, people say I'm successful, and yet am I really doing what matters most to me? So other people say, you should do this or you should do that, or I can make money doing this, I can make money doing that. And yet, is it really satisfying me?
Yep.
And I've asked that question often, and I support people now to ask that question. Are you doing what is most important to you?
Beautiful. Thank you. I love that you're bringing this right to the front of our conversation. I love that your dad really encouraged leaning into your unique talents, and that you're really leading the conversation about defining success in your own way, not letting others define it. And I think this is so important. So listeners, I hope that you are underlining this moment of really looking at success. And part of your own definition of success should include, are you doing the things that matter the most to you? Really, really important. And I just personally spent many, many years following other people's definitions of success, not because I didn't have my own thoughts and ideas. I just didn't know that I was doing that and that I could actually have my own definition. And it led to burnout and frustration and discouragement, even if on the outside people felt I was very successful. And I wish I had come across somebody sooner like you that would ask that question and help me pause, because once I did that, it created great change in my life and great richness. So thank you, Bonnie. That's so, so important. But can I ask you a deeper question on that?
Yes.
What does it do for you personally? Why do you like helping people discover that?
Well, it took some time for me to recognize my purpose in life, my mission. I believe every one of us has a mission. We're here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, to joyously inspire people to fulfill the mission and purpose, well, it's the last day that we're here on earth.
Mm.
If you're here and this is your last day, are you doing what you came here to do?
Yep. Completing your life message.
It's been great satisfaction when I help people look at that, answer that question.
Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think it ties in so much to what you're talking about, and that provides you great satisfaction by being able to help others do that. So I think that's really, really beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I had shared when I was introducing you that you have 3 books, which is an amazing accomplishment. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I know that your most recent book was published, and it's called Weave the Threads of Life. Can you share a little bit about why you wrote this and a little bit of what it's about?
Yes, why I wrote it was because I was told from my inner wisdom gave me the indication, told me 30 years ago that I was to write a book. 2002 is when I started writing it. It took me 12 years. And I got to chapter 5 and I got stuck and asked Spirit how to finish the book. They gave me the 4 topics for the last 4 chapters. The book is about, it's in 3 parts.
Mm-hmm.
The first part was the first 5 chapters where I was stuck last year, and that was looking backwards. Well, when in my life did I feel on track? When did I feel off track? The last 4 chapters is, okay, now what?
Mm-hmm.
How do I move forward? How can I create the life I really love?
And I just wanted to highlight some of the things that she shared, and that she started the book in 2012 and it took 12 years to write. And so when I was saying that that's an amazing accomplishment to have 3 books, I meant it. When someone is a published author, they're spending a lot of time, heart, and soul and spirit, as she was sharing, listening to the Spirit, bringing forward something that they are called to bring forward. And I talk to so many people, which I love doing. I love people. I love connecting, love learning. And one of the things I have learned is that a lot of us have a story in us, or a prompting, or we're feeling a pull to write something, but only a small percent actually do and followed all the way through to completion. And so that's why I took a moment to acknowledge that she had done that. And I also want to encourage each of you that may have a story in you to honor that call and to keep taking step by step. And when you get stuck, like she shared, she sought the Spirit, she sought inner wisdom to really see what the next steps were. She stopped, paused, asked, and then took action and moved forward with the information. So those of you that have that pull in your heart, I just want to encourage you, because I believe if you have a pull to share something on your heart, a calling like that, there are people right now that need exactly what it is that you're bringing forward. There are people waiting to read what you're creating. So I really invite you to honor that pull, even if it's step by step, even if it takes 12 years, that you keep taking steps forward. When you're stuck, you're asking for help and wisdom, and then you keep pressing forward. So I just thank you, Bonnie, for sharing that. And Bonnie, I'm hoping that you can connect with us again. Bonnie, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you wonderfully now. Yes, beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And with your book, one of the questions I like to ask as well, because I was just sharing about it's a challenge and an undertaking to bring a book forward, especially one that is called to help transform people in their life. Like, what was one of the biggest challenges or obstacles that you had, and how did you overcome it?
One of the obstacles was my own thoughts about who wants to read this? Who wants to read my story? Do I have enough information that people are going to be interested? Can I help people with it? And one of the things I did in the process of writing the book was to find a way to make it concise. People don't want to read long 100-page books.
Mm-hmm.
And finding a way to keep it, share my story, the basic point, without too much detail, and get the point across so that they can then use it in their own life.
Beautiful.
So it can be inspiring.
Beautiful. So the information is used. I love it. Good.
Exactly.
Thank you. I love that. I have done several books that they're collaborative book projects, and one of them was that you are whole, perfect, and complete. In that chapter, what I wrote about, the title of it's Who Me? Because so often, just like you were saying, is who am I to step forward in this way, or what I'm offering as a value, and kind of really recognizing that when you have that placed on your heart, there are people calling forth exactly what you have, and it does have great value. And I love that you worked through that and were able to find a way so that they can get the information and actually use it. I love that. Get traction. Use it in their life. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I know you put together an amazing free gift, which I love. My guests are always so generous in doing that. Do you mind sharing in about a minute what your gift is?
Yes, I'd be happy to. And this is an offer that it's only available for your audience. It's the third part of the book. The book has 9 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of the book is the first 5 chapters looking back. The next 4 chapters is part 2. That's now what, how do I move forward? And then the third part of the book is a journal. I ask a lot of questions, and in the journal there's 1 page for each chapter that has some questions, and then you as the reader get to answer those questions for yourself. So the gift is the third part of the book. 9 pages. Each page has questions from that chapter and then supports the reader in answering the questions for themselves.
Beautiful. Thank you. And listeners, this is a powerful gift. When you are given a guide, in a sense, guided conversation, questions to start asking yourself, it's a really powerful tool. It starts a powerful transformational dialogue that can lead you forward powerfully. And I'm assuming, Bonnie, I hope this is a correct assumption, that it'll help them with their definition of success and what matters most to them. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes, that is a correct assumption. And one of the things I've learned in life is asking powerful questions and learning how to ask the right kind of questions is really a way to step into our power. We often ask questions like, why did I do that? Or why do I keep making mistakes? Those are not powering. Those are disempowering questions.
Yes.
And so finding good questions to ask ourselves and answer can help us step into our power.
Yes, exactly. We want to be asking the empowering questions. So, Bonnie, I want to thank you so much for your beautiful gift. Listeners, we are getting ready to go into our next commercial break. So when we come back, we'll be interviewing our next guest expert, and I will be letting you know how to access Bonnie's amazing free gift, as well as the other gift that our next guest will be sharing. But you got to stay to the end of the show. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that commercial break and you've had a chance to think about some of these things and hopefully start asking empowering questions, because so often we'll just let questions run through our mind. And I think it's important to pause once in a while and just check in. Was that a question that empowered me or disempowered me? And that can start shifting our relationship with ourselves pretty powerfully. So I appreciate Bonnie bringing that up during our last segment, how important the type of questions we ask are. Our next guest expert is the amazing Nancy Greene, and she talked a little bit about how her father and her share in the first segment was that he taught her how to form an argument, critical thinking skills, and he probably had no idea he was raising a lawyer. And what I appreciate, one of the things I should say I appreciate about you, Nancy, is that you're not like your typical lawyer. I think sometimes we have a stereotype in our head, so again, not saying anything about lawyers out there, but I think sometimes we have this impression in our head. And one of the things I really appreciate about you is you're very down to earth, approachable. You have a way of explaining things in a language I understand. Versus sometimes when I've talked to people that are lawyers, they start to go into a world I don't understand and I can get intimidated by and maybe not always get the information I'm looking for. So you really have a way of demystifying that area and helping us navigate through the law. And I appreciate that about you. And your specialty is really helping small businesses be properly protected. You're an Amazon bestseller, so again, an amazing author that we have with us, a member of the National Association of Professional Women, and you received the Women of the Year from them as well, that acknowledgement, I think in 2002, is that correct? 2002, 2000?
2012, 2013.
Oh, I apologize. You're right. That's 2012, 13. That was a test. You passed.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you. And this passion for helping small businesses led you to opening up a law practice in 2013. So it is my privilege and honor to officially welcome Nancy Greene to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for not only the kind words, but having me here and allowing me to help your audience and get them some of the information they need for themselves and their business.
Thank you. I'm really, really glad to have you. And it's so interesting. I was thinking about, wow, this is really timely because I'm starting to have some of these business questions. So you may be getting a call from me later about some certain areas just as I was preparing for the show. I went, I have some things I need to ask her. I won't do it on the show, though. I wouldn't do that to you. But my first question is, why this work of helping small businesses in this area, really helping them navigate through the law so that they can keep doing their business? Why is that personally so important to you?
And over the course of my career, one of the things that happens as a litigation attorney is people don't get the lawyers involved until badness has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really frustrating for me to see these issues that could have been handled cheaper, faster, really raise their ugly head and risk the whole business. So you might be in business 10 years, but until you hit that obstacle, you don't know there's a giant crack in your foundation that will take your whole business down.
Yeah.
So it became real important to me to start working with people and start getting education out there for business owners to build that foundation.
I love that. And this wasn't on the approved list. Are you okay if I ask a side question?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm curious. I love the phrase that you used. This is what is making me curious, and I wanted to expand on it a little bit. Two things. That you saw badness happen. So see, she uses language we understand that could have been prevented because there were cracks in the foundation of the business. Is there a standard process or way that you lead people through? I'm just thinking for those small businesses out there, it can be a little bit daunting to try to even know where to start. Do you have a tip or a suggestion or idea that would help them know where to start in evaluating their foundation?
Sure. A couple of things. If you're starting with a business partner, you need to make sure that the group, your understanding and how you're moving forward with them in business is documented. Because you may be dealing with that person's beneficiaries if they die.
Yep.
And you need to start off employees right. And it's actually one of the reasons I'm writing a new law book series that should be out this fall to give people the guidance they need and they can know when to pick up the phone and ask the right questions.
Powerful. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So thank you for that little teaser, too. I love that you heard it here first. There's a new series coming out by Nancy Greene. Lean into in the fall, right?
Yeah, the projected release date is September.
Okay. So coming very, very soon. So everyone keep your eyes open for that. And then you shared a little bit about your dad and fishing and how he had influenced you. And I didn't know if you had any other piece that you wanted to share in that, or did you feel complete in that sharing? I wanted to give you an opportunity.
I feel pretty complete. I mean, both my parents are amazing people, and they took every little crazy idea I had and said, okay, you can do that. So confidence was never really much of a problem for me.
Okay, good. Now, you juggle a lot. So I think sometimes people think we are our job, and you're a mom, you're a writer, which we have learned about you, a lawyer, which we know, a wife, and you're all at once, all of these things. So this may resonate with all of you out there that we are juggling a lot of different hats, a lot of different roles in our life. And there are things that we do outside of each particular role. And I know that you do things outside of being a lawyer when you're not practicing law. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that and how you juggle all of these things and still stay grounded and moving forward?
I don't sleep much.
Not what I expected. Okay.
I actually find that having those other spheres and activities in my life is what keeps me sane and grounded. So my husband will kick me out of the house to go do other things if I'm starting to get grouchy, because that means I haven't served myself in one of those other areas. But I have to be involved in many aspects to really perform well in any of the niches at any time. I need that break, and I think everyone does.
Yep. Thank you. So it's not necessarily sleep that you need when you're grouchy. It just you need one of those other pieces to be nourished.
There you go.
Okay. We all have different needs in that sleep area. And then it's kind of a bold move to open up your own firm. Do you mind sharing why you decided to open up your own firm?
No, I don't mind sharing. Part of it became blatantly obvious that this is what I was supposed to be doing. And when I had tried to avoid doing it, I spent 7 months in a very unhappy situation. But to expand to what I wanted to do and serve my clients the way I wanted to, I needed to go out on my own and ensure that the firm I was dangling to build was consistent with my ethics, my mindset, my service model. And I couldn't find that anywhere else. All of the pieces at once.
Yep. And so by opening your own firm, you were able to do that.
Yes.
Beautiful. And then I know that you've put together an amazing gift. And before I have you share about it, I just want to let listeners know why we do this. Part of the reason I ask my guests and part of what they lean into and say yes to doing and being a guest to provide a gift is because my vision and my dream for this show and for each of you, that it's not an accident that you're listening to this point. And I believe that we're called to support you in having some of the information get traction in your life. And one of the best ways I know how to do that is to give you something that outside of the show and listening in this moment we're sharing together, something that can help you start applying and moving forward in the areas that we talk about. And that's why I have my guests give amazing free gifts to support you in that journey. But you have to be willing to say yes, take action, and lean into them. And I will share how in our final segment how to do that. But I wanted you to hear the heart and the why behind that. So Nancy, do you mind sharing about your gift in just about a minute?
Sure. So the free gift is part of that the law book for everyday people that I'm doing. It's what I've called the 18th landmine, which is how your employees get you sued. Because they're the group that you're most likely to run into problems with, and both in how they go out and represent you in the world and how companies often don't comply with what they need to do with them. So it's a quick little reference sheet so that you can know when to reach out and where you might be stumbling into a danger zone.
Beautiful. Because that can be a really costly, damaging danger zone, correct?
It can be. An overtime violation claim can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah.
So this is really, really valuable. I'm just kind of leaning into that. When I started my career, I was in human resources. And so I completely know what you're talking about and got to be part of a lot of those things that were looked into because when you have because we had employees across the country, that everyone maybe wasn't on the same page with how things needed to be handled in those arenas. And they could be quite costly and very complicated just because some of the prevention and questions and way of setting things up wasn't done in the beginning. So I love that you're providing, and I like that it's a one sheet. You said one sheet?
It is a one sheet, yes.
Very nice. So easy reference to support you very, very quickly to make sure that you're not stepping into some of those landmines. So thank you so much for making that available. We are going to our next commercial break. And when we come back, the exciting close where I let you know how to find these gifts, how to access them, and a couple key tips that we'll be sharing with you to impact your life. We'll talk to you in just a moment.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break. We've enjoyed having all of you join us today. And I just wanted to review a couple of key concepts that we talked about today, just in case you missed them or you joined us a little bit later. And then also wanted to let you know how to access amazing gifts. So we opened up the show really talking about how to step into your power in life and business. And Bonnie really talked about your unique talents and really stepping into your definition of success and what matters most to you and doing that with awareness. And one of the key tips that she suggested was making sure you're asking the right questions. So really developing that awareness to ask the right questions on your journey. And then Nancy shared with us some tips and suggestions about having a great foundation in your business, because there can be cracks there that can be very costly, even if your business has been going for quite a while, that can really devastate and damage your business. So it's really important to look at the foundation, just like a foundation in a home. Those can be big things. You want to make sure that you're aware of that and you're looking in and using the resources out there to really serve and support you. And then they both provided some amazing gifts to support you on your journey. And this is how to access those gifts. You can, if you're watching on the Voice America channel, the banner there over to the right-hand side, you're going to see a link that says Free Show Gifts. They can go ahead and click on, or you can go directly to radiogifts, that's plural, .net. Again, that's radiogifts.net. plural gifts, because there's multiple, .net. And you'll see a window open up that you put your name and email address in so that we can stay in touch with you and start a relationship. And then you just select the gifts that are of support to you, and you will see the amazing gifts that both Bonnie and Nancy are making available to you. You'll see a number of gifts I'm making available as well. And if you keep scanning, you'll see some amazing gifts from past shows as well. So there's just a wealth of resources and support to really empower you on your journey. Well, behind the scenes, I had a conversation with Bonnie and Nancy, and I asked them if they would mind sharing some last thoughts or tip or a piece of advice or wisdom as we're coming to a close that could really support you in a powerful way. And they both said yes. So Bonnie, do you mind sharing with our listeners?
I'd be happy to, Rebecca. I appreciate the way you start your shows, where you ask people to take a breath, put their hand on their heart, and listen to the message from their heart. And when I talk about inner wisdom, that's where I experience inner wisdom coming from. And so that suggestion of take a breath, and it doesn't take long to do this. This is a really simple, easy way. Take a breath, put your hand on your heart, and listen to the message that comes from the heart. That's the inner wisdom that'll guide our life.
Yes. Thank you. It's one breath away. I love that.
Exactly.
So, listeners, you got to experience that this morning or the beginning of the show. And then as we're coming to a close, it's a reminder of that. And I can share that that's been a pivotal thing for me in my life, and part of the reason I put it in every single show that I do And actually, most of my live presentations and events, I also bring it in there as well, because it's not something necessarily that's been natural for me. I'm a go, go, go. Give me another list. Let me create another one. Let me check things off. I don't even pause to celebrate. I just go. And I have learned when I can pause, especially when I feel like I can afford it less, I get refocused. I'm calmer. I can make better decisions. I hear information and wisdom in a way that I couldn't hear it when I was rushing around. And I actually accomplish more that really matters to me and I believe to others. So I really appreciate that reminder, Bonnie. So important.
You're welcome.
Nancy, how about you? What would you like to share with us?
That kind of it calls back to a little bit of what you were just saying, Rebecca. One of the things that happens with us as business owners, and especially women business owners, is we keep rush and getting things done, and we're not taking that time to invest in ourselves and our business. Whether that investment is going out and getting the advice and guidance we need from peers or mentors or experts, or taking the day off to go fishing with your kids. You really need to think about the investments of your time and energy and power and how they best serve you.
In a whole woman way, yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you. Well, and I love this share because I think sometimes we look at each other and we don't realize that we're like real people. We just see a part. So I love how you shared, well, I don't sleep a lot. I like how, we and some of the things, if, listeners, if you think about this, some of the things that we talked about that impacted us most had nothing to do with business. Some of the influence, we were influenced greatly by going fishing, by those moments with people in our lives that stopped and actually breathed life in with us and sat there witnessing and experiencing life with us. And we have that same opportunity every single day, a breath away, a choice that we make. Are we going to pause and really experience life and share it with others? I believe this is key to stepping into your power. Or are we going to keep doing the to-do list and keep crossing things on our list and rushing from thing to thing? And Nancy, I loved how you were saying when you get a little cranky, your husband's like, okay, shift. You need to move out and do something, nourish yourself in a different way. It's great to have those indicators, like I'm getting a little cranky or I'm getting a little whatever. That's an indicator like, oh, I'm a little bit out of balance. What is it that I need to remember? Pause and breathe in to bring me back into that alignment and back into who I want to be and the power, and ask those empowering questions like Bonnie was sharing. So I really invite you to take this information, to start pausing more and listening more and being conscious of how you're spending your time and your energy and your resources, because you are so incredibly valuable, uniquely gifted, made on purpose and for a purpose, needed exactly as you are. And I want you to be fully what and who you are called to be, and to have the impact on those you're called to have. And maybe it is going for a walk more. Maybe it's breathing. Maybe it's going and finding a fishing buddy, whatever it may be that is upon your heart, to really bring all of you forward, because it absolutely makes a difference. And a lot of the way we can leave a legacy behind is by remembering what matters most to each of us, taking time to connect with others in a powerful way, learning to pause and be purposeful in our questions. May they be empowering in the steps that we take. Because we do have the same number of hours in the day. We all need different amounts of sleep, apparently. and I invite you to find the rhythm of life that empowers you. Because when you are empowered and stepping forward, you're able to empower others. So my heart's desire for each and every one of you is to always, always bloom where you are planted and shine. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.